June 15th, 2018.
And this is Nerd Bourbon episode 54. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill.
Todd, you ready to cast a pod? Todd?
Always and forever. Let's do this shit.
Let's we got a lot to cover here today, Todd. So we need to hop right into this. We need to take a hop, skip, and a jump right into our E3 2018 reactions. Let's see if hashtag Seth was right. We're going to react to all the conferences, give our generalized thoughts. We're going to compare them to my predictions that I made on last week's episode and see how they stack up. I'm going to tell you right now, Todd, not good. Not good. Although I got more crazy towards the end, and I knew I was going to lose a lot of points towards the end, but we'll play this E3 predictions game. Honestly, I'm so happy during E3 time and all the announcements and stuff. It's it's fun to make the predictions. It's fun to see what I'm right about and what I'm wrong about. But it's E3 is it's the game where everything's made up and the points don't matter, Todd. So let's get right into it, man. So the first conference that we started off with was EA this year, as always.
Could
I can hear your groaning.
No. This is something funny that I saw. I actually want to talk about it. Is the motherfucker from last year? That was the president of EA.
Right.
His ass went from a black on black suit to a dad sweater. Now,
well, I think remember you were saying is a supervillain.
Yeah,
sweater?
Exactly. He looks like a feely. But here's the thing. I saw a post that made me laugh. The fucker still looks like he hunts people.
He hunts people. Yeah, that's true. He looks. I don't know, man. There's just something about him. He just he seems sinister. Wearing the black on black turtleneck and shit like that. I was telling you, I was like, this fucker looks like he could play Aldrich Killian in a new new movie or something like that, like a supervillain kind of type, or like a Lex Luthor. He just carries that kind of weight to him.
He has that that really stereotypical evil CEO sort of thing, and it's just
right, which makes sense because this is the dude who's loot boxes. But let's get into generalized thoughts. How did you feel about EA's conference?
I mean, it's always the worst. It's always it's the first conference usually, and it's just the one you always have to suffer through.
Right.
I feel like I've grown a tolerance for EA now. I feel like it didn't melt my face as much as it did last year.
Well, is it a tolerance, or do you think that this one was legitimately better than an improvement over last year?
It honestly could have easily just been I think they strayed away from the sports a little more. They didn't really sit there and do a full fucking spiel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was telling you, it's nice that we got a little. I still don't know how much of a presence those games should have at E3.
Yeah.
I'm is it really selling? I understand it's a huge part of your portfolio, but are you really selling even a single copy of these games based on your presence at E3?
That's some real shit. Who are the people that are watching E3? It's
yeah, the people at E3 don't give a flying fuck about the new FIFA. They know it's coming. It's not a surprise. I understand it's such a massive. The reason EA does it is because it's such a massive part of their back end. They make so much money off of these games. It's a massive part of their portfolio, and so, but it's they're a foregone conclusion. The people who are buying Madden and FIFA and NBA every year, they come out every year for it. I know. I worked in video game retail for 6 years. The same people would show up. You would only see them once a year, but god damn it, they're there for their Madden games. You know what I mean? And it's true. Literally, we would have people who all they played were sports games, and they would be there on day one pre-ordering, and they would come in, to buy them every year after year, and that's the only time you'd see them. Literally, it's the only time you'd see them is when they come in to pick up their sports games. So there is a dedicated audience who only plays sports games, and I understand that. But I don't think that audience and the E3 audience, I don't think that Venn diagram overlaps very
No, not at
much.
all. Not at all.
You know,
Like, here's
so
the thing. I'll do an olive branch. There might be one dude.
right, like it's very minuscule the amount of people who are there who actually give a shit about those games. So for me, just I think they're better about it. I think they were better about it this year than they have been in years past. Because in years past, they're like, let's get fucking the Wayne Gretzky. I don't remember his name, but basically the Wayne Gretzky of soccer. Let's get him out here, and like Polo or whatever his name is. Let's get him out here
And
and
they
let's
were
have
like, I
him
remember they
talk.
were really, really like last year. They were really like pumped about that story, like their story mode for it or some shit.
Apparently, it was really good.
Hey,
Apparently, it
I'll
was
give
really
them
good.
that, but I don't give a fuck.
But yeah, they have like let's get the actor from the story mode out here, and I'm like, let's talk about this for 15 minutes, and I'm just like, it's just at least this year was mostly just trailers. They did have the FIFA people come out and they were like, oh, there's a championship mode or whatever that you can play right now, and it's like, okay, like who cares? Like we don't need to have you. You don't need to have these people come out on stage and and announce this stuff. Just quick trailer, and I'm good with that. Like if you pepper the conference with a quick trailer here and there, I'm not going to be pissed off about that, and you'll have your cake and you'll eat it too. You'll still
Yeah.
get your you'll still get your little bit of sports coverage, and I'm it's fine. But there was some cool stuff, so let's just go kind of go through everything that they showed, and then we'll compare it to my predictions. So and we'll talk about a couple of things that I think they were a little tone deaf about. EA, I think, kind of unilaterally had the worst conference this year, as they tend to every year. But we got to see a little more Battlefield 5. They highlighted the destructible environments, which actually looked really cool because that was something that they didn't really have too much in Battlefield 1. I mean, it was there, but it wasn't really like as highlighted as it has been in like Bad Company, where like back in Bad Company, I remember that was a really big deal, the destructible environments and the tanks blasting and destroying the buildings and the cover and stuff like that. And I liked how they came on stage and they were like, no loot boxes, no premium pass, like this is the game.
Yeah.
And of course, hashtag Seth was right. With the battle royale mode coming post launch, so that happened, and that's gonna be there.
Well, I
That
think
was cool to
it's
see.
funny with that though. Is like I think it basically made the both of us like not give a single shit about Call of Duty now.
Yeah, that was what I said as soon as they
Yeah.
announced it. I was like, well, don't care about Black Ops 4 now officially, because I prefer I Battlefield 1 was one of the few shooters that I actually spent like a lot of time in.
Yeah.
And so it was it was kind of nice like to come into Battlefield 5 being legitimately excited about it, and the fact that it has a battle royale mode now, I'm like, well, there's my first person shooter battle royale fix right there. I'm good.
Hmm.
I do not need to give Call of Duty Black Ops 4 the time of day anymore. Moving right along, we got Respawn Star Wars game. No trailer, nothing like that. Very literally, Andrea Renee sat down and did this like awkward interview with Vince
Can I
Zampella.
just say this? Like EA's conference was just overall just awkward as shit.
Just awkward, man. Just an awkward conference. There's some weird. I just for me like so here we got a few nuggets of Respawn Star Wars game. We learned that it is an original Star Wars story centering around a surviving Padawan set after the events of Episode 3. So basically, a Padawan who survived Order 66.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be a Padawan. That's even more interesting to me.
Specifically said Padawan. So I'm
That's-
wondering who the Padawan's master was.
yeah.
It's called Jedi Fallen Order, and it's coming out holiday 2019. So I'm assuming next E3 we'll finally get a big kind of blowout for it. But the fact that and we'll get into this a little bit more later, but the fact that EA is doing so little with the Star Wars license, we got this bit of news for Jedi Fallen Order, and look, it sounds great. Like I'm all about this idea. I think it sounds great. I think Respawn's a great studio. I think this is a really cool idea for a Star Wars game. But the only other thing they're doing with it right now is Battlefront 2.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which they did announce that the next batch of the next season of Battlefront 2 content is going to center around the Clone Wars, which is something that people have wanted for a long time. So I'm very happy about that. We're getting characters like Grievous, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker. New heroes, new maps taken from the Clone
How are
Wars
you gonna
era.
forget about my boy Dooku?
Did they confirm Dooku?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I forgot about that. I for some reason I thought that Dooku was just like we were
No, no,
speculating.
no. That was confirmed. There's the four heroes they confirmed is Grievous, Dooku,
Grievous,
Obi-Wan,
Dooku,
and
Kenobi,
Anakin.
and Anakin. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's happening. And look, great news. You and I have been playing a lot of Battlefront 2 lately. Um, I think they have really turned that game around in a big bad way. I think that game has. I really hope that people start paying more attention to Battlefront 2 because I really think that game is worth playing now. And I really hope that they find a new audience now for Battlefront 2. And I want that game to be a success because I do genuinely think that it's a good game. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Shit, you and I think over the course of a few days, probably put 10 plus hours into it.
Oh, definitely.
Just you and I sitting there grinding out our
Yep.
levels.
Yep.
Unravel 2 was announced and Shadow dropped, which was cool. Co-op centric platformer. You can play it single player if you want. We got a little demo for it. Looks cool. It was weird because it was unclear. They didn't come out and say if it had online co-op or not. So you and I were going back and forth saying like, well, shit, if this has online co-op, I'll buy it right now and we'll stream it tonight.
Yep.
But as it turns out, it's local co-op only. But yeah, the Shadow dropped. It was out immediately for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So that was neat little drop. And I hear the game's good. Nothing more to report on that. I wouldn't mind playing it. Maybe Anastasia and I will stream it or something like that. But I feel like that would just be a recorded domestic dispute right there.
Well, you kind of told me like you guys don't really do co-op well.
Well, it's like I was telling you when they announced Overcooked 2 yesterday. It's like I was telling you then. I was like, her and I were playing. We were playing Overcooked 1 together, and it just turns into like, well, if you would chop the fucking lettuce, it's like, well, it's like, well, if you have my meat burning on the fucking stove over there, you fucking idiot. It just turns into this like screaming match of like,
It'd be funny as shit for me to watch.
Us and co-op just doesn't work. But I thought about it. I don't know if she would be into it or not, but I thought about doing it. It'd be fun to do. I want to play it. We got to look at a Sea of Solitude kind of making its reemergence. They got announced like 5 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't even remember this game.
Yeah, it was very under the radar. Like the only reason I even this is because I'm me. Like I keep my finger on the indie pulse, and I saw this when it first got announced, and I thought it looked cool, but there wasn't really much to see. So now we actually got kind of a gameplay trailer, and it looks great.
Yeah, I'm
think
definitely down for it.
Like art style's awesome. I love that it's touching on the we have the writer sort of creative director on stage, and she was talking about how it's all about like loneliness and depression and stuff like that. And
that's one thing I love is when like they usually get really emotional on stage. I actually kind of like it when they do that.
You can tell that they really put their heart and soul into these little games, So that was cool to see. It's coming early 2019, no hard date. We got so this was funny. This is something we need to stop and talk about for a second. Another awkward tone deaf section of the conference. Who gave when two motherfuckers came on stage holding their phones and were playing the new Command and Conquer
can I
game.
tell you this? I actually like erased that from my memory because it was so stupid.
No, it happened. It absolutely
But
happened.
now that you brought it back, the only thing I respect about that entire thing is when it was over. Like, anything to say? So I did my job. Got the fuck off. I'm like, right there. Power to you, sir.
Yeah. So like it's a new. They revealed at the very end that it was called Command and Conquer Rivals. It's a mobile game. Strategy, kind of a simplified strategy mobile game, which is fine. Like, look, there's an audience for it. PvP, kind of RTS. But, did we really need to break for like 10, 15 minutes and watch these fuckers with like shoutcasters and everything like go
That I
through
think
a
that was the
match?
worst part for me. Like, I was like, wait, are they legitimately gonna fucking cast this shit? Like, that's terrible.
I guess I just felt like everything that we got some things that looked cool or whatever, but the things that were everything was presented basically in the wrong way. Like Jedi Fallen Order showed us nothing. Presented totally in the wrong way, right? Command and Conquer presented totally in the wrong way. If that was just a trailer, I would have been like, oh, no, that's kind of cool, whatever. Battlefront 2, we saw none of the stuff in action.
Hmm.
We basically just saw concept art, you know. And then Anthem, which was the next thing they talked about. We got snippets of gameplay, like we got a
Yeah, I got a
demo.
little bit of a new demo, and
Um,
the developers, on the I got stage, they're basically doing like a panel, basically.
yeah, they basically did like a little panel on stage. And I'm like, who the fuck? If this game is really coming out on February 22nd, like they say it is, who like, why are you still showing concept art? If this game is supposed to be coming out in, what, 9 months or eight
Hmm.
months, like, how are you still like? Why are you still going to be showing concept art for a game that's coming out in less than a year? Like, you're acting like this game is like just entering development or something.
Some real shit.
It's just got me worried. I really don't think it's going to hit
No,
that February
yeah, me
date.
and you were both talking about it. It's just like I think it's definitely gonna get pushed, and like I still feel like we haven't seen enough of like even like the other like javelins. Like we've only
Right.
seen really like the Colossus and like the Ranger and like snippets of the Storm. And like,
It's frustrating because
oh
the game looks great.
yeah,
The game looks like it'd be a lot of fun. I like the idea of kind of splitting, when you're in the hub, it's single player, it's story based, there's characters and blah blah blah. And then when you're out kind of in missions, that's
yeah,
when you're
that is
with
the
the
shared
group and
world
you're
and stuff. Like that's
right.
cool.
Like that I think is really neat. And I think that's a smart way of handling it. But for me, I'm like, holy shit, man! Like, I just you presented it in the wrong way. That and like I think EA really suffered for that. Now let's go through my predictions here for EA. So my first prediction was that Criterion was working on an arcadey Star Wars style racing game, which that obviously didn't happen. I just, for me, I'm like, and I have my in my notes here. A guy can dream, though, right? Like, I really think that Criterion, they've got to be working on something, and I'm like, it just makes so much sense to me. You guys need to release more Star Wars games. You got this great racing game developer. Don't just keep shitting out Need for Speed games, you know. So this was I gave myself a half point for this one. So Respawn Star Wars game was revealed. And I predicted that it was going to be a vaguely Destiny kind of thing set in the current Star Wars canon. Coming in 2019, I predicted maybe there would be a beta in early 2019. Maybe. We don't know anything about it. So Respawn did, like I said, they revealed Jedi Fallen Order, but we don't know anything about it. It is coming in 2019. We don't know if there's any online connectivity or not, though. So
Hmm.
I gave myself a half point for that one. Battlefield 5 is blown out with a bombastic gameplay demo. A battle royale mode is announced as post-launch DLC, which I was hashtag Seth was right on that one. That was just
Yep.
maybe a little bit of a safe bet, but yeah, I was totally right on the money with that. That was exactly what happened. BioWare has a lot riding on Anthem. There'll be a new demo to show, I think showcasing the things that make it less Destiny and more BioWare, with a vague early 2019 release date. Now, I gave myself a half point for this because, yes, we got the new demo for Anthem. Yes, we got a little bit of like that story stuff. Not much, though. But the release date was not vague. It was an exact, February 22nd, a hard date, which you and I don't think is going to
Yeah,
hit.
that's a maybe.
But it's still a hard date instead of a vague date. So that's why I gave myself a half point. There are several situations in here where I've either given myself half points if I think it's kind of shady, or I've given myself like multiple points if I hit on multiple points.
Mm.
So So we've got another independent EA Originals game will be spotlighted. So I predicted Unravel 2 in here, and I also thought that we were going to get something totally new. Both of those happened. So we did get Unravel 2 revealed, shadow dropped immediately, and then Sea of Solitude also spotlighted as a new EA Originals title with an early 2019 release date. My crazy prediction was that Skate 4 is going to announce. Of course, that didn't happen. Some predictions will just have to stay crazy. But, I will never give up hope on Skate 4, Todd.
Skate 4!
It's funny because I don't know if we'll ever have a better talk about this. They announced that game during Microsoft conference session.
Yeah.
Right?
I honestly think that's gonna scratch that itch for people. Even though we don't know exactly how that's gonna play out, but
we know basically nothing about it.
It was just some dude on a skateboard and it's just session. I'm like, all right, cool.
Dude, everybody thought that was Skate 4. I thought it was Skate 4.
I thought it was Skate 4. I was just like, is it?
Yeah, like I was like, Todd, hold me, Todd. Is this it? So my final score, totaling up my points here, is 3 out of 6 here for EA. So right down the middle, which honestly, it's funny because I've stayed. There's some of these conferences I got like nothing right on, but then some of them I was like right down the middle. Some of them I was exactly right. So it's kind of interesting the way it happened. Let's move into Microsoft. Kind of give us what were your general thoughts for Microsoft this year?
Microsoft fucking won.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh, easily. Because they finally shut the fuck up about the shit I don't care about.
I think I kind of agree with you. I think Microsoft did win.
Oh no, it was back to back, like just games. I'm just like, holy shit! Finally.
I think they said they had 50 games.
Yeah, 50 games, and like within those 50 games, it's like 18 like world premiere, like some bullshit like that. And I'll just say it now. You're gonna talk about it, but shit, my most anticipated game of ever got announced
next
there.
Year. Yeah, definitely did. So. Let's run down what Microsoft announced. They kicked it off with the Halo Infinite trailer, which is weird because A, no release date, B, it's like, is this Halo 6?
I was thinking to myself about this. They said it was a new engine, right?
Yeah, they said it was a whole new engine.
So I honestly think this is just them. Like, it's gonna be like, I think it's basically you're on the money with your prediction. That it's not.
Yeah.
It's like a standalone Halo game, and I really do think it's just them getting a feel for the new engine, and then we're gonna get Halo 6 like next gen.
Yeah, like I almost feel like this because this looks to me like Halo Infinite based on what we saw, like they're on a Halo, right? But it almost looks a lot of the stuff looks very Halo 1.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like this is gonna be kind of a like it is Master Chief's next adventure. But I think that the vibe here is that like Halo 6 in air quotes is too big. Like the things that need to be covered is too big to just have in Halo 6. Like I think Halo Infinite is going to be the next big Master Chief adventure, but it's not necessarily the end of the saga. It's almost like a half step there. Okay. That's sort of the feeling that I get, but who knows? I mean, maybe next year they'll change it to be Halo 6 Infinite. I don't fucking know. But for now, we kind of have to assume that it's not Halo 6, because if it was, why wouldn't they just call it that? So who knows? Ori and the Will of the Wisps got another showing there. Coming in 2019, I think the game looks great. I love the first one. Very excited about that. Just the art style, the gameplay.
Oh, the game's gorgeous.
Yeah, just looks wonderful. But then we, the big one though that I know you want to talk about was the reveal of Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Oh.
from Software.
Now, I told you that tease wasn't in Bloodborne 2. Back when they did the teaser for that.
Yeah.
And like at the moment I saw his arm, like the whole like bone thing, I was like, that's from the teaser. And holy
year of the trick arm.
Yeah, holy shit, this game, dude. Like I think both of us were both basically making just terrible noises watching that trailer.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It looks amazing,
Like
man. Like the combat looks so good.
the joke that I made is this is from Soft telling the guys that made Neo to go fuck themselves.
Well, did you hear about kind of the story setup of this?
I actually did not. Like, what's the deal?
So the story setup, from what I understand, is that this village it's like this village where like the people were like being like experiments were being done on them, like they
Okay.
were cutting off their limbs and shit. So you're playing as somebody who actually escapes like one of the experiments or whatever, and you have like you have your prosthetic arm or whatever, but you were being experimented on. That's why his arm was cut off.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, grappling hook. Oh my god.
That grappling hook is gonna just add so much to the boss fights, dude.
Yeah, and I
Like,
mean that big shield, like oh, that was
there's too
awesome.
much shit. There's too much shit that's gonna be in that game. Like, and it's so fluid.
Yeah, the combat just looks like it looks fast, but it looks precise at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it looks fast, but it also has like the parries. There's like weight to the parries.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you see, especially when he's fighting that big motherfucker,
Oh, dude.
like he parries him and the dude like gets knocked back, like it looks really visceral. Like the combat looks great.
I swear to
And
God, like that sentence, the combat looks visceral, is going to be a thing that I end up saying later.
yeah. Yeah, I think the game looks awesome. I really I have speculations about the kind of mechanics because it's implied that you're gonna have like two lives basically.
Yeah, like
Game's
Shadows
called
die
Shadows
twice.
Die Twice, right? But even in the trailer,
Yeah,
like
he
it
gets
says
up
like
mid
death is
boss
not the
basically.
end. Yeah, he gets killed in the boss, and then he comes back to life. So there's a few things I could do with it. I'm wondering how that mechanic's gonna play out. Very very interested to hear more about this game. That game is that's going to be a must play.
Oh, without a doubt.
Uh, Must play, and that's what we know now. That's what Miyazaki has been on. So that game is going to be
Any
exceptional.
anything that man touches, I'll be there, day one.
We got a first look at Fallout 76, which we learned much more about during Bethesda's conference, but we kind of know we kind of know that's set in West Virginia, focuses on the year shortly after the bombs dropped, kind of a Rust or Ark or kind of survival RPG. We'll get it more into that later when we touch on Bethesda. This was a weird announcement. So, The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, a
Oh yeah,
one episode. This is a one episode game from Don't Nod that I guess is going to tie into Life is Strange 2 in some ways. They actually said that like this is going to like some of the decisions you make in this is going to carry into Life is Strange 2, which is why they're releasing this episode for free. Coming on June 26th. It's a single episode game where you play as this young boy, and it looks like his like imagination is kind of like it's taking place all inside of his imagination and stuff like that. Looks cool. I knew instantly. It must have been funny for you because like I'm such an idiot about this shit. Like 2 seconds into some of these trailers, I'm like, oh, this is Life is Strange.
yeah.
Like I usually can call something basically when it happens. But yeah, so I knew immediately as soon as I saw the art style, I was like, oh, Life is Strange. That's coming June 26th, free download. Definitely into that. We got some more Crackdown news, which was sadly pushed for like the third time. That's now coming February 2019. The game looks good, you know. Hopefully this is the last delay. I mean, look, the game looks fun, man. Like I want to play the game, but it's like, do I even care anymore? Not
That's
really.
yeah. We've talked about that like for the past like couple weeks. I just don't even give a shit anymore.
I don't think anybody is. By the time this game comes out, nobody's gonna give a fuck. you know, like they're not gonna sell as many copies. This game is not gonna break even. I promise you. Metro Exodus. We got a little bit of a demo for that. A little
Still
trailer
looks
for
good.
that. That's still looks good. Coming February 22nd, same day as Anthem. So that's February is gonna be a big month. Yeah, game still looks good. Got a Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, which revealed the Frozen world. which was cool. That was cool to see. Not much more to report on that. That's coming out now, January 29th, 2019. A slight delay because it was originally announced for 2018, just kind of vaguely, and now we've got a hard date for January 29th. Hopefully, it doesn't slip out of that. Forza Horizon 4 was announced. Set in Britain, open world racing game, October 2nd. You and I don't really care about it, but I can appreciate that it looks good. Hang on a second. Herbie, lay down. Just fucking freaking out for some reason. Microsoft, this was cool. Microsoft opened a new studio and bought a bunch of indie studios. So we need to talk about this for a second. This is interesting as hell. So they opened a new one called The Initiative, but then they acquired the State of Decay developers Undead Labs. They acquired the Forza Horizon studio Playground Games. They acquired Ninja Theory, which, I mean, that's huge, right?
Yep.
They acquired Compulsion Games, the makers of We Happy Few. And I think this did a lot of things where it's like they're really focusing on games moving forward, you know?
What they should have been doing from the beginning.
Yeah, right. The Microsoft really just Ninja Theory alone. I mean, these are the Hellblade guys. I mean, this really shows that they care about narrative games.
Yeah.
You know, Hellblade is a weird game, you know, and we loved it, and it got a lot of critical acclaim.
Oh, I said this like many times. Hellblade could have easily been my game of the year. So
it's a great game. It's nice to see a publisher like Microsoft swoop in and be like, hey, like, you want to make games for us? So I mean, really, the next Ninja Theory games are going to be on Xbox, you know, and that's huge. Division 2, we got our first kind of reveal for that. March 15th is the date on that. Set in Washington D.C. in the summertime as opposed to the winter time, which is cool. As you were saying, you're like, I'm looking forward to just seeing more color in the Division.
Yep.
Which is very true, because the first game, you know, kind of the wintry Manhattan streets, kind of in New York, it kind of looks kind of gray and white, you know. So this is gonna be cool. We got a little bit of a demo, a little bit of a kind of a staged, you know, with the cheesy fake player dialogue.
Yeah. I think I was like talking shit about it like within the first 2 seconds.
Of course. Nobody actually talks like that. Nobody actually talks like the way they do in these demos. But that, you know, the game looks good. I'm definitely looking forward to it. New Shadow of the Tomb Raider trailer. That game's coming out September 14th. The game looks great. Not much more to report there.
Combat looks visceral.
Visceral is one way of saying it. She looks like a fucking primal warrior, is what she looks like. We already talked about Session a little bit, so we got that trailer. This was interesting to me. So Devil May Cry 5 was announced to Xbox. So it was so weird, because by all accounts, you know, we knew Devil May Cry 5 was coming. It was obvious this game was leaked to hell and back. But by all accounts, this was going to be a PS4 exclusive, from everything we heard.
Yeah.
So I was surprised to see it on the Xbox stage, revealed on the Xbox stage, and the game looks fantastic. I love that trailer. I've watched that trailer actually a few times now.
The combat looks visceral. No, I'm just
I think it looks great. I think the combat looks great. I really I'm into it.
It's funny for the first couple seconds of that trailer, I think we both were like, "Is this fucking Dante?"
Yeah, because you know it's Nero as the protagonist in this one, but it looks like he does straight up look like Dante from the Ninja Theory DMC, and it looks really good. I'm very, you know, it's coming spring 2019. It's been a long wait for like a proper sequel to Devil May Cry 4. I'm definitely all over this. I love the Devil May Cry games. They're a lot of fun. Story notwithstanding, I know there's some like people who are like, "Oh, the story's so good." I've never been one of those people, but the gameplay is what I'm there for. The gameplay is
Yeah.
always top tier. Cuphead expansion. This was hilarious. I really did not expect any DLC for Cuphead. Uh, Much less Cuphead the Delicious Last Course. Literally DLC, Delicious Last Course.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's funny.
Yeah. That's coming next year with a new playable character. What's her name?
Miss
Chalice?
Miss
Miss
Chalice or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Lady Chalice or something like that. New playable character. New island, new bosses. Very, more Cuphead's always a good thing. I loved that game. This was a massive announcement for me. I think we were both kind of losing our shit when we saw this. Jump Force.
Oh my
Um,
god.
Huge anime crossover fighting game.
But the thing,
What the
it's
fuck?
dude. Like I was trying to figure out what the fuck it was. Is like I started realizing I'm like, what that's the One Piece ship. That was the first Okage statue thing there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and then we get that little Death Note tease at the end,
Yeah.
and like it's like what and like graphically it like looks beautiful, and it's
Hmm.
like this hyper realistic anime fighting game. It's just weird, man. Like I don't really know what to make of it.
I'm
You
into it though.
know,
Like I'm not normally into fighting games, and I'm like kind of into this idea.
I'm into it too. If they start putting some My Hero characters in there,
Oh, dude, that'd be
oof,
love.
oof. This was a huge surprise. Dying Light 2.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Man, uh, you, I haven't been so quickly sold on a game in a long time as Dying Light 2 because you and I both really enjoyed the
Yeah.
first Dying Light.
It's funny is
Love
like
playing it.
I enjoy I got into that game like kind of like from the get go,
I
and
think you got it pretty close after
yeah, I'm
launch.
pretty sure I got it like within like the first couple months of that game coming out, and I
Yeah,
was telling him like, dude, this game's not bad, like it's good.
yeah. When I finally picked it up because I got sold on it when I realized that we could play it in co-op.
Yeah,
Because almost every game is elevated really in co-op, but I really think that Dying Light really was a fantastic. It's not easy to get parkour right as right as they got it. So it's exciting that Dying Light 2 is going to really double down on story with Chris Avellone brought on as the narrative designer for Dying Light 2. He's famous for all these Obsidian RPGs. He was responsible for KOTOR 2's story and stuff like that. So
so
he took the
shit,
state.
that's something interesting. Is like, what is this gonna be Dying Light with an actually decent story?
I feel like it is because he took the stage and he was talking about all of the different possibilities that
Yeah,
can change your world.
and also the
Uh,
parkour looks better actually.
yeah, it looks smoother.
Yeah,
But the story of Dying Light 1 was easily the weak spot of it. Um,
brain.
yeah, that was bad. The rest of it though was great. So I mean, I think it looks great. It's set in Paris, actually.
Oh,
That's the location, Paris. We saw branching dialogue options. We saw shifting faction loyalty. Huge world changes based on what you do in mission. Very, very, very looking forward to that. Uh, kind of looping back around to my GameStop days. There's a new Battletoads game coming out. Uh, this is coming in 2019. We don't really have any other information on it. Very vague trailer. But yeah, new
yeah. Yeah, I'm
Battletoads.
pretty sure
So
I made that joke like
yeah,
instantly. I was like, oh, I guess I can go back to calling GameStop.
yeah. It was so funny. I was there for 6 years. Only got one Battletoads call. And it was funny because you actually could search in the system for Battletoads, like the whatever old Sega version or whatever it was. You could actually search for it in the system. So people would call and ask for Battletoads. The one time I got a call and I was like, yeah, let me check. And they hear me like typing on the keyboard. I'm like, actually, a store in Puerto Rico has one. You know, there was like one store in Puerto Rico that had like all this. It was basically a dump for GameStop because whenever we got rid of like PS2 games finally, everybody sent all their PS2 games to this Puerto Rico store.
That's
And
hilarious.
all of like the retro games and shit like that, that all of that is went to Puerto Rico. It's so funny. So when I looked up Battletoads, I would look it up and I searched for whatever location had it, and the store in Puerto Rico sure as shit had a copy of Battletoads.
That's funny.
So, and it was just funny because by that point they had already hung up.
Like, those fucking idiots actually looking.
Just Cause 4 is real. Looks like more Just Cause. Still no confirmation on online multiplayer. I think we can probably assume that it won't have that, at least not officially.
And honestly, it might be the first time I pass on a Just Cause.
Yeah, well, there is that interesting kind of mechanic of the inclement weather.
Yeah, that's the big change. I was talking to you. I'm like, usually, each game adds something. So that's the new thing, the weather. Seth? Uh-oh. Seth,
Years.
oh, okay, holy shit. You're back. That was bad.
Oh, what happened?
Bro, you like legit froze for like fucking like set like I couldn't hear you or like I could or see you move for a while.
Oh, wow.
I was
Weird.
like, Seth? Seth?
Uh, that's funny. Well, I was still talking, so the recording's still.
Yeah. They just ain't gonna get it on this end.
So Gears 5. Gears 5 is real. I just love I love the trolley way that they announced Gears 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like where they showed off that Funko Pop shit first.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Like Gears of War Pop, whatever the hell that is, and then we saw like this XCOM style Gears game, and then finally they're like, oh yeah, and by the way, Gears 5.
And I'm
Which
so fucking interested in Gears 5.
Yeah, looks fantastic. I really expected it this year. I'm a little surprised that we're not getting it this year. It looks like it's going to be a 2019 game. But I mean, the gameplay that we saw looked pretty damn good to me.
Mm-hmm.
New enemy types and like it looks really really cool. A lot of interesting story implications.
Oh, definitely.
Very interested in that game. Now this is weird. I actually thought this was a little bit weird for Microsoft to come out and say because last year they just debuted the Xbox One X, and now here at E3 this year they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we are indeed working on the next Xbox, which no surprise there. Of course they are. If you think Sony's not working on PS5 right now, you're an idiot.
Yep.
We're gonna get both of these consoles in 2020. No doubt about it. And it's just a little bit weird that they came out and said that so soon after announcing and releasing the Xbox One X. I don't know. That was shocking to me. But the way they ended it, really, they talked about a bunch of other stuff that we don't really need to get into. I mean, I could talk about the kind of minutia, like that little indie game Tunic that they showed, which looks right up my alley. The updates to Game Pass and stuff like that. But the thing I really want to talk about is the way they ended the show, Todd. Ugh. It's funny because when they ended the show, and I basically knew what it was immediately, the second it happened, I called it. And if you guys had seen the video footage or audio footage coming from my end when we were watching that, Nerd Bourbon Studios South was in an uproar, Todd. as you know, as I was just screaming at the top of my lungs, my dick, my dick, because we got a awesome looking new trailer for Cyberpunk 2077.
I'm gonna be completely honest. My dick was rock solid.
That game, I'm so ready for that game, dude. Like, ugh, so ready. And like that trailer was great. And a lot of people are complaining like like oh it doesn't even look like Cyberpunk. It's not like dark and rainy like it normally is in Cyberpunk. And I'm like, does Cyberpunk have to be dark and rainy? No. Like we saw a lot of Cyberpunk shit. Just because it ain't dark and full of neon and raining, that mean it's not Cyberpunk.
Does
And by the
motherfuckers
way,
not understand? Like, there's weather.
yeah. And also, weirdly, from what I'm hearing from people who actually got to see a gameplay demo behind closed doors, it sounds like it's actually first person.
Really?
Which is interesting. I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be third person. You're still going to make a custom character, but it sounds like it's actually going to be a first person Cyberpunk RPG.
Okay.
So I can't wait. I don't know when we're getting this game, but I can't wait for it when we do. It really is going to be fantastic. But yeah, I mean, I think we both kind of gave our general thoughts on Microsoft. Both really, thought they knocked it out of the park. I love this kind of like newfound focus with Microsoft of like them acquiring all these studios, them announcing all these games. 50 games.
And it was like legit
shit.
back to back. I was just like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted from you, like for the past couple years.
I think Phil Spencer only took the stage like 3 times the whole time. Like, it was mostly just games. Just back to a world exclusive, world premiere. So, let's go through my predictions for Microsoft. So the first one I had
Seth,
here was
keep on going. I had to go AFK for 2 seconds.
Okay. The first one I have here is Crackdown 3 finally coming out with a September release date. Of course, that was dismissed just kind of in the days before the show. They came out and revealed that Crackdown 3 was delayed to February 2019. So I missed that point. We just talked about it. Cyberpunk 2077 spotlighted on the Microsoft stage with a new trailer. No release date given, which I 100% predicted. So we got that glorious trailer. # Seth was right. Next prediction was that Borderlands 3 was going to be revealed on Microsoft stage, which that didn't happen at all. So it looks like Randy Pitchford was telling the truth for now. Gears 5 is announced and it's coming this October was my next prediction, which I give myself a half point for that because, of course, Gears 5 was revealed. We even saw several snippets of gameplay and a cutscene and everything, but the game is not releasing this October. It's actually not releasing until 2019. A new Halo game is teased for 2019 by 343, but it isn't Halo 6. So I'm giving myself the full point for this because, as far as we know, it's not Halo 6.
Mm-hmm.
So until, as far as we know, I think this is a full point here. My crazy prediction was that Banjo-Kazooie is coming back. Of course, that never happened. They can announce the return of the fucking Battletoads, but there's no room in anybody's heart for Banjo because that makes a lot of sense. I'm telling you, if they put out Battletoads and Banjo-Kazooie would sell more copies.
Oh, easily.
Just saying. That leaves me with a final score of 2.5, 2.5 points out of 6. Not too bad. Again, like right down the middle, right there. So not too terrible. This next conference is where I'm going to clean up a lot of my points. Bethesda. Okay. Let's just rapid fire what they went through because honestly, there's not a lot to talk about with Bethesda because Bethesda, I don't know how you feel about it. Bethesda ranks kind of low for me, dude.
Oh, no, it was like, honestly, like, yeah. The conference as a whole, it was just like, it was cool seeing the shit that I wanted to see, but then they were like spending too much time on things.
Well, it wasn't even that. I mean, if you think about it, most of the stuff that they showed was either revealed ahead of time.
Yep.
The new announcements they basically showed nothing of.
Yeah.
And then they have these awkward segments like, everybody's excited, Andrew WK, blah blah blah. Cool. Do we need to start the show with like a 5-minute performance by Andrew WK?
No.
So we got a closer look at Rage 2 right after the awkward stage performance. Rage 2 looks great. We're playing as Walker, the Last Ranger.
Walker, Texas
Which,
Ranger.
of course, I had to make the Walker
Yeah.
Texas Ranger joke. But no, I think the game looks great. I think it looks like a lot of fun. It's coming next spring. We got a little bit of that like story, a little bit, which looks interesting with that big like arc thing that like fell down that you looted, and like you got a new ability from it and
Yeah.
stuff. The gameplay looks fast and fun. I'm very, very much interested in Rage 2. Doom 2 is Doom Eternal, which will continue the Doom story. But we don't know really anything about it. We got a little kind of trailer, and they said they're going to show us more at QuakeCon this August. Prey, a whole slate of new Prey DLC is coming from Arcane. One of them was actually available like then at the show. It's called Moon Crash, which was like a roguelike, constantly changing.
Yeah, simulation sort of thing.
It looked really interesting. I mean, I haven't played Prey. It's on my huge backlog, but looked great. And there's something called Typhon Hunter, where like one human character takes on a group of 5 mimics, which sounds interesting. And that one's actually going to be available in VR.
Okay.
Which is cool. So Prey DLC, Wolfenstein Youngblood, which is cool. So this is set in the 80s. You're playing as BJ Blazkowicz's twin daughters, and it's going to be co-op. So you already know we're going to be playing that.
Yep.
You and I were both already sold on that.
Anything that I can play co-op, I'm usually down for.
Pretty much. I mean, you know, Fallout 76 obviously had a big presence at this conference. It was basically the marquee game. We got a bass Todd Howard on stage. I would be remiss not to mention the fantastic little skit that they released with what's that fucker's name? Keegan Michael, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. He did a skit with Alexa playing Skyrim and like playing Skyrim on the fridge and like stuff like that.
See, I respected it so hard for them to like just step fully into the meme. Like that was incredible.
Of him putting Skyrim on everything. What's hilarious though is it actually is like you actually can.
I know
play
that's
Skyrim.
the funny thing.
So they went whole hog on that, but no, Fallout 76. It is indeed online survival RPG. Howard did stress you can definitely play the whole thing solo, but it is ultimately connected online. You're never going to see a server as you play. It's like an interconnected world. He did say that it's not going to be like filled with like other player characters. He was like, it's not like an amusement park. You're going to be playing with dozens of other players, not hundreds. So it is still going to feel tight and intimate, but every now and then you're just going to bump into other players, you know, and that could be a good thing or it could be a very bad thing. There's no like permadeath or anything like that. But it's going to be interesting. And Bethesda did say that they're going to be supporting the game for years to come. So I feel like Fallout 76 is really going to be kind of a platform. I feel like this is basically going to be, since we're far away from the next thing coming from Bethesda, which we'll talk about in a second. I feel like this is going to be the kind of holdover game. It's going to be this kind of platform game, Fallout 76, so they can constantly update and keep people playing a Bethesda game for a long, long time until we get to the next big Bethesda game. Before we get to that, though, they did announce the Elder Scrolls Blades, which is a full console quality, they say, Elder Scrolls game for mobile devices.
These motherfuckers did it. May not be Skyrim, but they fucking did it.
But they made it work on a phone. And I mean, it looks, graphically at least, it looks really good.
Yeah.
It does look, I mean, maybe not like PS4 quality, but it looks pretty damn, it looks pretty high quality graphically. You know what I mean? It looks kind of like I'm always apprehensive about playing like dual analog games with a touchscreen controller. But it's coming this fall and it's going to be free. So I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'll be damned if I'm not interested. So the big ones, right? At the end of the show, they announced their new sci-fi IP, which was actually rumored to be getting announced last year. Didn't wind up happening. but they've been working on this for a long, long time. It's called Starfield, which it's so funny because of this E3, people were so casual about talking about the next generation, you know, and to that point, like Todd Howard was like, "This is our next gen game," you know. So the next big Bethesda game we're going to get is going to be Starfield, the sci-fi RPG, presumably. We don't know anything else about it. The teaser was very vague. But the fact that they're straight up saying like, yeah, this is next gen is so funny to me.
Yeah.
And then Todd Howard was like, and of course, we're working on the game that you all want us to be working on as well. The Elder Scrolls 6.
And it was so dumb to me that everybody was like sitting there like fucking like doing like a standing ovation. I'm like, you legitimately saw nothing.
Crying, you know.
I'm like, you legit saw a logo and like a mountain range. Congratulations.
We know nothing. I mean, like, is it nice to like see that it's confirmed that they're working on it? Sure. And I told you I actually think that I actually predict that we're going to see it a little bit earlier than we might have otherwise, because Bethesda has since expanded to have now 3 studios.
Yeah.
They've got one in Montreal, the core one in Maryland, and now one in Austin. And I really think that Elder Scrolls 6 is probably sooner than it normally would be, because normally we have 5-6 year gaps between core Bethesda games. I really think that we're probably going to get Starfield in like 2020 with the launch of the next gen hardware, 2021 maybe at the latest, and then a couple of years after that, maybe a year or 2 after that, probably we're going to get Elder Scrolls 6. I don't think it's going to be as long a wait as we might think. But yeah, that was pretty much all we had for Bethesda. So let's run through the predictions here. This is where I really cleaned up a lot of points. ESO Somerset just came out, but that isn't going to stop us from talking about the next expansion for the MMO. So we got to remember, we did get a little spotlight on ESO where they talked about a taste of upcoming content updates, as well as some sort of Black Marsh expansion that's coming out. So hashtag Seth was right on that one. This is a little bit of a safe announcement, but I'm taking a half point for it because this prediction, I got a little crazier with this prediction that I was wrong about. So I predicted we'll get a big blowout reveal to let us know exactly what the hell Fallout 76 is. It's a survival RPG with elements like quests and base building lifted from Fallout 4. My crazy prediction for it was that it was going to become immediately available, wouldn't carry a full $60 price. That was completely wrong. It coming in November, it is going to be a full $60 price tag. I did predict at the end here that it'll be more of a frequently updated service game like Ark is, which is true. That is kind of the vibe that they're going with it. It is going to be a platform. So I'm going to take the half point on that one. I predicted the Doom 2 was going to be announced. And it was. Not much more to say about that. I'm just right on that. We got a demo for Rage 2, which I predicted, showing off a fun, arcadey new style of gameplay, giving us a taste of the open world and the story. It's coming next year. Again, not a risky bet on my part, but I was right on the money on that. We did get a relatively chunky demo that gave us a taste of the combat, the missions, a little bit of the story, even gaining some new abilities, and the game looks great. Prey getting a big piece of single-player DLC, which, happened. In fact, several pieces of DLC happened. One single-player and one multiplayer. And I think even a New Game Plus was dropped immediately. So I was basically right about everything here.
Mm-hmm.
My crazy prediction was that an announcement regarding what Bethesda Game Studios is working on, be it a tease for Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield, and we got both. So I'm gonna take the 2 points on that. I'm taking.
It's funny as you even said it. Like you're like, I'm getting 2 points for this. Mm-hmm. As we were watching it, I was like, all right, buddy.
Look, the fact that they were both announced, like, that's fucking nuts. It was my crazy prediction for a reason. Like, that's nuts. So I think that earns the 2 points. I literally got all of this right. So yeah, I guess I technically have a 6.5 out of 6 for Bethesda, which is where I racked up a lot of my points on that bad boy. So Square Enix. So this is gonna be kind of the quickest one because Square's conference we really didn't get a whole lot from.
Yeah.
How did you feel about this?
Dude, I swear to God, wasn't it like, I swear to, I felt like it was only like 30 minutes type shit.
It was. It was 30 minutes. Not even really a conference. It was more of a showcase. But I gotta hand it to them. Like that punchy 30 minutes, even though they didn't cover a whole lot, it really did. I mean, look, they highlighted a few games. They got to the point. They didn't waste our time. It was very like Nintendo Direct style, you know. Um, so even though they didn't cover much, I mean, look, we started off. We got Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We got actually a big kind of demo for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is where we really saw a lot of the kind of, as you said, the visceral combat. Which I mean, the game looks great. We got a little more awesome Captain Spirit, which is where the Don't Nod devs kind of had a little video where they confirmed that it was going to connect to Life is Strange Season 2, which is kind of the first, I guess the first, acknowledgement that there is a Season 2 for Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Platinum is making a new game, another PS4 exclusive, it looks like, called Babylon's Fall.
Don't know really what the fuck it is, but it'll look cool.
We know nothing about it, but very
cool.
Yeah, very cool little trailer. I really enjoyed that trailer. That's coming in 2019. I can't wait to read more about that because I mean, look, this is a combination that works. I mean, we saw that with Nier last year. Square publishing Platinum produces good content, and as a PS4 exclusive, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that right? Isn't this a PS4 exclusive?
It has to be, I think. Yeah, I think it said. I think they said it was.
I think that's the only logo that we saw at the end of the trailer was for PS4. I think it's technically an exclusive again, just like, or at least a timed one, just like Nier was.
Yeah.
Which Nier, of course, is now coming to Xbox One. Another thing that they highlighted during the showcase. We got a little bit of Just Cause 4. We got a little, more gameplay, another cutscene, So this is funny. We got the Quiet Man here. Now, I think we were both just like fucking confused while this was happening. We're just like, what the hell is this?
I was already like, oh, they get like a live action trailer that like transitioned into like gameplay, and then it ends in like 2 seconds after the gameplay, and it's a Quiet Man. I'm like, what the fuck?
So it seems like you're playing as like a deaf guy.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's fighting, like it's a brawler or something like that. We know nothing more than that, though.
He's a superhero, man. Quiet Man.
Well, it's funny you say that because I actually thought when we first saw it, I was like, is this the Avengers project?
Oh.
When we first saw that, I was like, is this going to be kind of like the Avengers thing? Like you're not playing as an Avenger, you're playing as kind of your own superhero, and it's more grounded and more like, I guess, street level. So when I first saw that trailer was happening, I was like, oh shit, maybe this is what they're doing with the Avengers project. But no, it's the Quiet Man. It's all about deaf man kicking ass. We got a little trailer for Final Fantasy XIV's update coming out with a Monster Hunter World crossover, which was cool. And we got little trailers
I saw the monster that they're gonna add to Monster Hunter.
Oh, it's to go with Final Fantasy. What is it?
It's the Behemoth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From 14, like that big.
Yep.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, and we got a little, trailer for Dragon Quest XI. Cool if you're into that sort of thing. Another trailer for Octopath Traveler. Very, very tame showcase, but I mean, really, they didn't need to show much. The thing that really disappointed me with this was their coverage of Kingdom Hearts 3, because like this is E3, man. Like Kingdom Hearts is undoubtedly the biggest game you have on your slate for the foreseeable future, really. So their trailer they showed during their showcase was basically the same one that Microsoft got, revealing Frozen and all that. And we got a couple new shots. Like we got the shot with Ratatouille and stuff like that. Other than that, it was the same exact trailer they showed during Microsoft. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Very disappointing showing for Kingdom Hearts 3 during this showcase. Other than that, though, I thought Square had a pretty punchy, pretty focused showcase. and even if you didn't like the content in there, it only wasted 30 minutes of your time.
Yep. I actually didn't like.
You
I was
know?
like, shit, it's already over.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice that they didn't go for like a fucking 90-minute conference. So let's go through my predictions here. I predicted that Kingdom Hearts 3 was going to come this year with a release date unveiled during the conference. I predicted that it was going to be the latest in 2018 they could possibly make it, which, sadly disproven just before the show. They actually, in the dead of the night, because they didn't want the masses to mob in the streets, they they announced that the release date for Kingdom Hearts 3 is January 29th, 2019. So that was a miss there. I gave myself a half point for this next one because Just Cause 4 is real and will finally feature officially supported online multiplayer. And I predicted it was going to come in early 2019. I'm wrong about two things here. A, we don't think that there's any online multiplayer, and it's actually coming out this year, not early 2019. But the game is real, so I'll take the half point on that. The Avengers project from Crystal Dynamics is revealed, which didn't happen. Again, I thought that The Quiet Man maybe was that, but it's not. Maybe I expected too much from them maybe it's too early to expect this game. But yeah, that did not happen. Proper Season 2 for Life is Strange is revealed, which I said in whatever form that might take, didn't really happen. I'll take a half point for it because we did get the Life is Strange reveal, and I did specify that it might not necessarily involve Max or Chloe. And they did say that it was going to tie into Season 2, so I guess I'll take a half point for Captain Spirit. A weird game that they're publishing is given a spotlight in the vein of Nier or Deus Ex, which I was right on the money with that. We got the teaser trailer for Babylon's Fall, and that is, I would definitely call that another collaboration like Nier. My crazy prediction was that the next Final Fantasy game was going to be announced, and it wasn't. So I'm proud of Square for doing that because they have a penchant to announce shit way too early. So my final score for Square was 2 out of 6. Again, pretty much close to the middle there. Let's move on to Ubisoft.
I don't know about close to the middle. No, I'm just playing.
I mean, it's 2 out of 6. If it was a 3 out of 6, yeah, that's the middle, right? We're close.
Try to make it sound better.
Oh, look, I got to take the wins when I can take them this year because, and this is what I was going for with my predictions this year because I had such a limited. I gave myself such strict parameters. Yeah. I was wrong about more things, but I just have fun predicting them. I don't really care about the points. Ubisoft, how'd you feel about Ubisoft?
I think Ubisoft did pretty well for the most part. It was good seeing like the new Assassin's Creed because I'm all on the Assassin's Creed train right now.
Yeah, of course. But I think Ubisoft is another situation where they spent too much time on shit.
Yeah.
I mean, did we really need to see? I mean, we got a fucking trailer for the Rainbow Six documentary.
It's like, honestly, what's funny is I'm legitimately erasing the shit parts out of my memory.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
We opened with an overly long Just Dance 2019 dance number.
They've always done that though. I think we talked about that. So it's good they get that shit out of the way. And I think I was like, are these motherfuckers gonna come into the fucking?
Yeah, they were like they started in the streets and then slowly made their way. I was telling Todd, I was like, this is like a horror movie. I was like, you're like seeing them like slowly creeping up, and eventually they were just in the audience.
It was bad. It was real bad.
Yeah, they always get Just Dance out of the way like early on, which is good, but it's like, again, same thing I said about EA and the sports games. Nobody is playing these games is at this E3. Like nobody. This is a casual game for a casual audience that shows up for this game every year, and even the fuckers that are playing it on Wii still, the people who are really dying on that hill, those people are those people, and they're not at E3. It's fine that you want to serve those people, but it has no place at the show.
Some real shit.
We did get to see a lot more of Beyond Good and Evil 2. We actually got to see actual gameplay, a little pre-alpha gameplay demo on stage for Beyond Good and Evil 2, which was cool.
Looks fantastic, even the pre-alpha.
Yeah, they did say that it's going to have co-op, which is interesting.
Oh, did they actually say that?
Yeah, it's going to have online. You're going to be able to play with your friends. And
That's fantastic.
we got our little trailer there, which revealed we revealed Jade, young Jade, because this is actually technically a prequel, as kind of a villainous role.
Mm-hmm.
It's unclear if she's like, if these are the Doms or if this is a new alien species or whatever. But very, very interested to see where that's going. Because how did she become from this to the Jade that is the protagonist of the first game? We got so Joseph Gordon-Levitt's hit record is going to be used. It's going to be used as a platform to put people's art and music in the game, which I gotta say I'm a little weirded out about this. I don't know. What was your feeling on this?
I'm kind of in like you're saying like mindset. It's like it's cool and all, but why though?
I've got two questions about this. A, the fact that they're doing this, wanting to put people's art and music and stuff in the game, that tells me that this game is not going to come out anytime soon.
Oh yeah, that's some real shit.
B, like, are you going to pay these people? You know what I mean? Like, are these people just going to be contributing their art and music and stuff like that, like pro bono, to be in a commercial video game?
That's
like
real,
it's kind of sleazy.
Shit.
It's a little sleazy, man. Like, how is that going to work? Now, Joseph Gordon-Levitt did go to Twitter afterwards, responding to the kind of backlash, to clarify that Hit Record does pay their contributors, but we don't know how this is going to work with this Ubisoft collaboration.
Oh, he says that?
Yeah, well, he didn't say that, but we don't know.
Oh.
We as fans don't know how that this Ubisoft situation is going to work. But Hit Record does typically pay their contributors. Yeah. So I'm hoping that if you contribute to something that is going to show up in a commercially released video game,
shit.
that you're going to be paid for your fucking work. I mean, that's just it's really weird. And that language should have been made clear at the show, point blank. Another game that we spent too much time with, Trials Rising. I mean, holy shit. This probably had at least a good 10-15 minutes of showtime. You know what I mean?
They had a jackass riding in on a motorcycle.
Riding on a motorcycle, do like a little fake, stunt on stage, breaking the podium there. Fine. You know what I mean? The game comes out next February. If you're, I've never been a huge Trials fan, but if you're into it, I'm sure this is cool news. Look, I mean, just to me, the general vibe, Ubisoft had a 90-minute show this year and covered like not that many games.
Yeah.
They just blew out every single solitary game. Trials did not need a 15-minute
some real
spot.
Shit, dude.
They could have cut it down to an hour easy. The Division 2. This was really cool. So we got a little more of a taste of a new trailer. Actually, I think 2 new trailers, weren't there?
Yeah.
The cool thing, though, they did reveal that the game is going to have 8-player, which is cool, and 3 episodic DLC packs in the first year that are coming out for free, with new areas, new stories, and new activities. So that's really cool. Really kind of kicking Destiny in the shins there, saying like, hey, you know how you do your season pass and your annual pass and all that shit? Division's gonna do it for free.
Yep.
So we got a musical performance for the Mario plus Rabbids Donkey Kong DLC, which is coming out June 26th, which is cool.
I enjoyed that, actually.
It was cool, but again, was it necessary?
No,
not
of course
really.
not.
Did we really have to spend so much time on some Mario? Just give us a quick trailer. And look, I actually loved the trailer they showed. I thought it was hilarious how like the cranky Rabbid was like taking selfies with Rabbid Peach or whatever.
Yeah.
That was funny. And And look, it was cool to see Grant Kirkhope on stage, of course. Classic, legendary video game music composer. I love him very much for composing the banjo music, of course. Um, I just don't think that we really needed it. I think that it could have just been a quick trailer and, boom. We got a blowout, I guess, for Skull and Bones, which recently was delayed to 2019. Again, too much footage. Like, we don't need to see all of this. We got a full, I guess, walkthrough of like a boss fight, showing off, the new gameplay, and actually got a little bit of the hub. And I haven't played Sea of Thieves yet, but I know you were saying that this gave you strong Sea of Thieves vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
Just kind of stealing and protecting loot and turning it in and stuff like that. Seems like the loop is going to be very similar to Sea of Thieves. VR game Transference. We didn't see a lot of it. I'm intrigued by it though. Apparently it's not VR only. Apparently you can play it traditionally too.
All right, cool. Makes me a little more interested in it.
Yeah, Elijah Wood was actually there. He actually took the stage, and it was funny because his teleprompter was fucking up, and he was like, "Oh no!" that was actually funny to me. Starlink happened. We got a little more, better look at Starlink with a Star Fox inclusion in the Nintendo Switch version, and actually an R-Wing ship coming for it, which I'm like, I kind of want that.
You're like, I don't really care about this game, but I
don't really care about the game, but I kind of want that R-Wing.
Yeah.
That's coming October 16th. We got a new mode for Honor. This is actually funny. I swear to God, I feel like next year we actually need to like live stream as we watch the conferences. Because some of the shit that we say and do during the conferences is funny.
Oh yeah.
I swear to God, for every tease that we were getting, Todd would be like, "For Honor, for Honor," and finally he was right. After like saying it like 3 times,
I said it right. Twice.
I don't remember which games they were, but like it showed up. It's like, "For Honor, for Honor," and he was finally right though, because For Honor is getting a new mode, big expansion called Marching Fire, which we got a new trailer for. It introduces a new faction, the Chinese. It's basically what it is.
I'm down for all the new characters though. Like
the new fighters,
they
all
look
great.
good, dude. Like the only one I don't give a shit about is like the assassin, basically, like the 2 like double sword shit. I never care about those.
Yeah, and of course we're gonna get that kind of castle siege game mode that apparently people have been wanting.
Yeah, I was telling you about that like as we were watching. I'm like, that's been a thing from like, cause that's a whole like thing during the campaign for the game.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I would like that as a game mode. And they're finally getting it. So.
And then finally, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Of course, we got a bunch of gameplay for that. The game looks great. You can play as a man or a woman, brother or sister. We saw the branching dialogue options. Very much based on, much more of a traditional RPG, like a deeper RPG than even Origins was.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's actually like romance options in the game.
Yeah, I was reading that.
So, looks very promising. I'm very much interested. I'm gonna play it. Comes out October 5th. So that was Ubisoft. I thought, good conference, good showing, a good breadth of content. But again, too much.
They need to like figure out like just to
tighten it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Tighten it up. Like move on. We don't need all this stuff. We don't need to spend 15 minutes on trials. We don't need to. I
don't need some dude doing a skit with a fucking motorcycle.
I don't need to see a trailer for the Rainbow Six Siege documentary. Like, who cares? Like, just tighten it up. No. My predictions here. We get a demo for The Division 2 that reveals a new setting with an early 2019 release date and a beta happening this fall. I was right on the money with that. The new setting for The Division 2 is Washington, D.C. It's coming out March 15th, 2019, and there will be a beta this fall. So that was all correct. Splinter Cell is back, which I was wrong about. That didn't happen somehow. I thought this was actually going to be a safe bet because with the Walmart Canada leak,
Yeah.
I thought for sure that this is going to be the year, but no. I still say it's coming. Yves Guillemot, the president of Ubisoft, was grilled about it by Jeff Keighley, I think, and he was like, "Oh, we want Splinter Cell to come back too," kind of. He was being cagey about it, So I'm sure it's happening. It just was not revealed here. It's probably going to be one of those things where you wake up one morning and it's like, "Oh, next month's Game Informer cover is Splinter Cell." You know what I mean? Uh, a decently lengthy demo for Beyond Good and Evil 2 will be shown, given more texture to what the gameplay is actually like and revealing the main characters and general plot. Still no release date. I was right about that. We actually got a good bit of pre-alpha gameplay, and we did get a little bit of a plot tease with a evil young Jade at the end there. And yes, no release date. So I was right about that. This was another safe one here. Assassin's Creed Odyssey fully revealed for an October release date with a trailer and gameplay demo. I was right on the money with that. It's coming October 5th. All the things we heard about it ahead of time were true. Again, kind of a safe bet, but it was a bet nonetheless. Ubisoft will announce a brand new IP, and it's a Nintendo Switch exclusive. Now, I'm not going to take the point for this because it didn't happen, but there was that Star Fox collaboration in Starlink, and in fact, Miyamoto was even in attendance at their conference again this year, just like he was last year. And I'm going to take the loss of the point, but the idea still stands that Ubisoft and Nintendo now returning collaborators, and I think it really goes to show that Ubisoft is really behind the Switch in a big bad way. And I think it is not going to be the last time that they have, that they're going to be in the Switch's corner.
Shout out to that motherfucker that stole his seat.
Yes, that was so funny. Oh my god, what? Like, how and why did that happen?
He wanted to sit where his god was. I don't know.
And did he move back afterwards? That's my question. The second Shigeru Miyamoto stepped out of the seat, the dude sitting next to him just scooched over. My crazy prediction was that the Scott Pilgrim game was going to come back, and of course it didn't. That was just a dumb, crazy prediction that only I cared about. It would have made me happy, but no, it didn't happen. My final score for Ubisoft was 3 out of 6, right down the middle. Let us move on to Sony. We're almost done, Todd. We're almost done going through E3. So Sony was a little bit of an anomaly. That it was going to be kind of they were going to be playing it close to the vest. We knew going into it. They announced ahead of time they were really going to be spotlighting 4 games. There was going to be a few other announcements, but for the most part, it was going to be focusing on The Last of Us Part 2, Spider-Man, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima. And that's exactly what it was. It was very much, a couple little surprises. Definitely a couple little surprises, but for the most part, it was exactly what they said it was going to be. So let's start off. First of all, how did you feel about the Sony conference?
I mean, it was honestly weak. Now that I think about it, but it's just like there's parts of it that I really enjoyed. Like we'll get into it when we start going through what they actually showed.
And the thing that people have to understand, because Dan was texting me while I was watching. He's like, oh, where's the Rocksteady game? Where's this? Where's that?
Yeah.
And, even I lost a lot of points here because even I thought that there was going to be more, more to be revealed. But you got to think about it, man. Like E3 is just one of many conferences
I know.
now.
It's
what I mean.
It's honestly like I think I've been saying it for like a little bit now. Is just like, does E3 matter?
I think it matters, but it matters so much less than it used to.
Yeah.
And again, it's the E3 is now, whereas it used to be like the main conference, the main kind of press show. It's not anymore.
Yeah.
We've got the PAXs, we've got Gamescom, we've got Paris Games Week, we've got PSX, the Game Awards. I mean, we've got all these shows, and so video game news is stretched way more thinly now than it used to be. So publishers like Sony can't come into E3 and show all of their cards. You know what I mean? So a lot of the predictions that I made for this show that I missed, I wholeheartedly believe that we're going to see a lot of this stuff at PSX, and we'll get into that in a minute. But they started off the show by showing us The Last of Us Part 2, which just looks exceptional.
The
Looks every bit
is visceral.
Yeah. That visceral combat. Ellie, looks like a beast. I love the way that they wove the gameplay in with the trailer and the kind of cutscene. And I love that they had them sitting in the kind of replication of the church that the dance was taking place in. Awesome section there. However, they did that at the tit for tat with that was that they then took a 15-minute intermission to move the fuckers from one auditorium to the next. I was like, what are you doing? Like, that's so weird. You know what I mean? It was probably cool for the people in the audience to be sitting in the room, that was being shown in the trailer. But for the people watching at home, it's like, what? Next up, Ghost of Tsushima. Man, does this game look good.
Dude. That game looks better than it has any right to be.
It's funny because if you look at Sucker Punch's trajectory from, the Sly Cooper series to Infamous, right? Yeah. You can kind of see a little bit of that Sly Cooper DNA in Infamous.
Yeah.
This looks unlike anything.
Yeah, I'm just like, damn, what?
Like, the combat looks great. The visually it looks amazing. The graphics.
I must say one thing about the combat. I want to know what dictates a one-shot kill.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you were saying that shit, right? Where it was like,
yeah, well, and yeah, it's weird too because he does that stealth section where he basically just takes out like what 3 dudes immediately. Interesting. We're definitely gonna have to see what's going on with that.
Definitely.
I can't wait to hear more about this. We know it's coming next year, but we also it's open world and the open world looks gorgeous. I very very into that game. This is a surprise, and I actually called this as we saw it. I wish I was watching it with you because this is the one conference we didn't watch together.
Yeah.
Because I called this. I was texting Dan as we were watching this conference. When Control was revealed from Remedy, like something about it as I was watching the trailer, I was like, this looks like Quantum Break. Like visually, like I almost feel like I would venture to guess that this was probably designed with the Quantum Break engine. Like just visually, it looks like Quantum Break. It looks better than Quantum Break, and I liked Quantum Break. But it was a surprise. It was definitely a surprise to see a new game from Remedy on the Sony stage.
Yeah.
This was awesome. Resident Evil 2 remake.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. I didn't know what the hell we were seeing when the trailer starts and you're like a first person view of like a rat.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what the hell to think. I was like, what is this? And when I saw the rat walks by a PS1, right? So I was like, oh, this is like a weird Kojima thing. Is this where we're going to get the Metal Gear 1 remaster I was thinking of, But no, it ended up being the Resident Evil 2 remaster. And it's actually coming out in January.
Yeah.
And wow, it looks like, they did such a bang-up job with the remaster of the first game. They just did a great job with that, and it looks like they're following suit with this one. I mean, it looks like an amazing remake. I mean, Capcom really is back. You know what I mean? Between stuff like Monster Hunter and now Devil May Cry and these Resident Evil games, Capcom really is firing on all cylinders right now. So this is interesting. We didn't even see this at Square's conference. Square's showcase didn't even have anything substantial for Kingdom Hearts 3. But I'll be damned if we didn't get a great Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer for Sony that revealed that Port Royal from Kingdom Hearts 2 is coming back, the Pirates of the Caribbean world. And looks weird and photorealistic. the graphical style of Port Royal in this game is completely different than the graphical style for the worlds that we've seen previously. Like, did you notice
Yeah,
that?
I did. It was weird.
Like, it's almost like disorienting to see like a realistic looking like Donald and Goofy in this world, which they have to do, right? They have to make them look more realistic so that they don't look totally out of
Yeah.
place with these, photorealistic ships. But we saw like ship combat
Mm-hmm.
and like God, it looks crazy. Like it's so weird. I'm like, holy shit, these like the graphics are fantastic and the combat looks like so crazy and unlike anything else we see in any it really Kingdom Hearts 3 really does feel like they're taking with each world and they're basically making each world its own game. Like in the way that Mario does. And it's got me really excited. So we got a Death Stranding trailer slash demo thing.
That's a good way to put it.
It's still weird. Still don't really know much about it. I mean, based on what we saw, what do you think Death Stranding is?
I honestly don't fucking know, dude. Like,
Like, like what kind of game is it?
I
Like,
think we just gotta accept the fact that it's a weird fucking game and just live with it.
well, here's the thing. Like, so Norman Reedus' character, I think his name's Sam. If
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken.
Sam.
He says that he's like a delivery, like he makes like deliveries and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It seems like he's like delivering babies. I guess. Maybe.
But but the babies have power.
Yeah, the babies have like some sort of like the babies like power up his device that he uses to see these like otherworldly creatures. And so I'm almost wondering, I'm like, is this like kind of a stealth horror game slash Yoshi's Island kind of thing where you have to like protect baby Mario? Like it's weird, man. I don't know what to think about it. You know? Like I don't know. Like I really wish that we just saw like a good chunk. I'm like not convinced that there's a game there yet. Like obviously the game's running and we see snippets of what is clearly gameplay, but it's really just Norman Reedus just kind of walking.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know. I don't think there is anything to think about Death Stranding yet. This is clearly, I think, going to be a next gen game at this point. I really don't even know if this is going to come out PS4 at all. But we'll see. If anything, it might be like a late 2019 PS4 release, and then it's also going to come out, for PS5. This is a surprise. Neo 2 was announced here, which was a bit of a surprise. Now, so I never, played much of Neo 1. Watching this trailer, did you feel like you got any like information to be gleaned from the trailer?
Not really.
Because there was some weird shit where like the dude had like horns and stuff like that. So I was just
it
curious.
looked like he was becoming a yokai.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was curious as to like if there was something that you could
I mean,
shed a little light on.
I don't know, like they're trying to like do some like mechanic shit where like you can turn into a yokai in this game or
where
something.
You can turn into one, yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's what they're going for. Thing is though, it's like I don't care about Neo 2 because of Shadows Die Twice.
Oh, you're still gonna play it.
I probably will.
You're still gonna play it. Shadows Die Twice will probably come out before this, and so by the time Neo 2 comes out, you're gonna be singing a different tune when Neo 2 comes out. You'll be all on its dick. Spider-Man, we got a Spider-Man demo, which was cool. And a lot. I really didn't. I was really kind of taken aback by how many enemies we saw, how many new villains we saw. They essentially like just in this quick demo, essentially assembled like the fucking Sinister Six. Let me ask you this. So at the end of it, they're kind of like, oh, he says not to kill him. He said not to kill him. Who do you think's pulling the strings?
It has to be someone.
Because the villains we got now, right? We got Vulture, Electro, Mr. Negative,
Rhino,
Scorpion, Rhino. I think that's it, unless I'm forgetting somebody. So I'm like, and Kingpin is already confirmed to be in the game, but I don't think Kingpin pulling the strings, because
the way he was like you, It's like,
Right. I'm just wondering. I don't know. Like he seemed like he was shocked by who it was.
when they gonna go with like Harry Osborn Green Goblin or some shit?
Are they gonna, that seems to be like the obvious choice,
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'll be a little bit disappointed if they just go that
it
route.
would honestly. I'd want them to like shake things up a little more than that.
I kind of hope that it's somebody more interesting than just like, because in the past, it's either Harry/Norman Osborn or Doc Ock,
Yeah,
and or Master Planner or whatever you want to say. Um, I kind of hope that they go a different route with the person that is assembling essentially the Sinister Six here with this game. The game's not far off; it's less than 3 months away, so it's not going to be long before we're going to find out. I'm very, very looking forward to Spider-Man. That is going to be great. I can't wait. And we did get to see after the show, Insomniac did show just like that kind of moment-to-moment, like open world swinging
it looks
around.
good, dude.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that
so good. And so this was weird. So at the end of the show, we got we got the From Software tease, and when I saw that logo, it said the Sony Japan Studio From Software. I was like, all right, here it is. Seth was right. Bloodborne, baby. Let's see it. And it wasn't. It was this weird PSVR game called like Diracine. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it looks weird, man. Like it doesn't. It looks like a total departure from Software's previous games. I mean, we don't really see much of it, but we saw a little trailer, and even during the trailer, I was like, is this like some weird shit with like the doll or something like that? I don't know, but yeah, it's not. It doesn't seem to be anything involved with Bloodborne at all. So who knows? A little extra tidbits here. We saw a Destiny 2 Forsaken trailer, which looks like Cade 6 going to die. We got a little, Black Ops 4 thing. PS Plus members get Black Ops 3 for free, which was, cool. And I got to shout this out. Trover Saves the Universe for PSVR from Justin Orland's studio. That shit was hilarious. Did you see that?
I actually
that trailer
didn't.
for that? Yeah, it's funny, man. You should seek that out. Well, you just got that Rick and Morty kind of humor to it.
Yeah,
Looks like it looks like it's like a platformer, but it was a funny trailer.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Let's get into my Sony predictions here and see how I did. I'll tell you this, not great. Where I really cleaned up in here is what I did, because we already knew going into it that they were going to highlight the 4 games. So I broke down the kind of what I thought was going to happen for the 4 games. And so what I did was I associated points with each of the ones, because I did give a breakdown of like what I thought was going to happen with each one. So I thought they should be worth individual points. Is that fair to you?
That's fair.
I agree. I'm trying not to like give bullshit reasoning. I didn't want to, but I think it was basically 4 predictions in one to detail how these 4 games are going to be handled. So the first prediction. The big Taken King-sized expansion for Destiny 2 is spotlighted at Sony's press conference coming September, which was not announced at the show. We did get a new trailer for it during Sony's press conference, so it was spotlighted. So I'm going to give myself a point for that, and it is indeed coming in September. I did not know that before writing these predictions. From Software's new game is Bloodborne 2 exclusive to PS4 coming early 2019, which did not happen. I still maintain that Bloodborne 2 is a thing.
Nope. No, I'm just playing.
I still maintain that it's a thing. I think PSX is probably where we're going to see that. All right, so this is the breakdown here. So let's break down. So my prediction for Death Stranding was that Kojima was going to drive a live gameplay demo, although no release date was going to be given, which kind of happened. Kojima himself didn't drive a demo, but we did see gameplay, and no release date was given. So I'll take a half point for that. A spotlight on Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2 with gameplay demos and a vague 2019 release date for both. Now, Ghost of Tsushima does have a vague 2019 release date and did get a gameplay demo, so I'll take a full point for that. But Last of Us Part 2 it got a gameplay demo, but no release date still, not even a vague one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take a half point for that. Spider-Man, we get a final look at the moment-to-moment open-world gameplay, and we reveal a new villain. Now, we got a whole bunch of new villains. I did go on to predict Mysterio, though, specifically. So I am going to take a half point for that. And even though we did see open-world gameplay later from Insomniac, we did not see it on the show, like during the actual press conference. So that's why I'm going to take a half point for Spider-Man. So that breaks down, that prediction breaks down to 2.5 points. Next prediction. It's been rumored and leaked to hell and back, Devil May Cry 5 is happening this year, and it's a PS4 exclusive. So, of course, half point, if I've ever seen one. You know, Devil May Cry 5 was real, but not only is it not a PS4 exclusive, it was fucking revealed on Microsoft stage.
Yeah.
So, that's about as far away as you can get. Insomniac is making a sequel to 2016 Ratchet and Clank. No dice. That's another one where I'm like, this is probably a PSX announcement. Almost certainly going to be announced at PSX. I do think that is 100% happening. My crazy prediction was that Blue Point Games was working on a full remake of Metal Gear Solid for PS1. Of course, that didn't happen. Still, again, it is a crazy prediction for a reason. I still think maybe we'll hear about it at PSX or the Game Awards at the end of the year. I do think by the end of this year, even if it's not Metal Gear 1, I do think we'll know what Blue Point is working on by the end of the year. So that makes my final score 4 out of 6 for Sony. Let's move into the last one, Nintendo. Nintendo had their E3 Direct yesterday at the time of this recording. How'd you feel about that?
I feel it's the one you did the worst on.
It is the one I did the worst on. I feel like I was the craziest with it. I pulled a lot of this crazy stuff with Nintendo. There really wasn't much to go off of. How'd you feel about it?
A lot of Smash.
I think the conference was like 43 minutes, and I think literally like 26 of them were spent on Smash. Of course, Smash Brothers Ultimate is the game we're talking about. The new Smash Brothers was revealed, and it really is basically what I've been saying it is since the announcement of it, which is kind of a half step. You know, it's a sequel, but like it's kind of built on the bones of the Wii U game. You know, it's not quite the jump in, I guess, fidelity is the smallest it's ever been from Wii U going to this game. Like when you're talking about N64 to Melee, huge jump. Melee to Brawl, huge jump. Brawl to Wii U, huge jump. This is kind of more of a half step, and I'm fine with it personally. And the reason I'm fine with it is because they revealed that everyone is here. Every character that has ever been in Super Smash Brothers is in this game. And we'll get into that a little bit more later. So I really thought that Nintendo had a nice, again, focused Direct. I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see some more from some other games. There's a couple surprises in here, but you know, for the most part, Nintendo played it very straight. You know, there wasn't much. It was very they didn't really cover a lot. It was mostly Smash. This was basically a Smash Direct with a few other tidbits thrown in there.
Yeah.
You know, so there's not much to cover here because Nintendo didn't reveal much. I mean, you gotta think, Nintendo does Directs several times a year. I mean, so you know, this stuff is probably going to be revealed in Directs later on in the year. But we did get the announcement of a new Super Mario Party, which actually looks pretty cool. Coming out October 5th. Some interesting ways to use the Switch in this new Mario Party game. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 getting some DLC, which was cool. We got a big spotlight on that. We got a new look at the new Fire Emblem called Fire Emblem Three Houses, which looked great. I can't believe actually how good that looks. Like, looks awesome. Coming next spring. Probably the most leaked thing in existence was that Fortnite was coming out on Switch and that was going to be available immediately. One thing I didn't expect, though, a spotlight on Hollow Knight for Switch. also made available that same day,
That you
and
bought instantly.
immediately bought by me because I've been patiently waiting. I've been wanting to play Hollow because it's right up my alley, and I hear great things about it. And I've been waiting on the Switch port, and now it finally is coming out on Switch. So I was very very happy to hear that. And then pretty much, I mean, we got a little bit of a taste of. We know that the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion is coming out today at the time of this recording, which is cool. We got a taste of some new amiibo during the Treehouse stream, but really most of the time was spent on Smash. We got to look at a bunch of new gameplay changes, all of which I think are great. I didn't see a single gameplay change that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Um, I like the I like that they're calling them Echo Fighters now instead of just clones. We confirmed it is going to work with the GameCube controller, which was nice. All previously existing amiibo data is still going to work. But the big one was that the new challenger, they introduced two new challengers. Daisy, who is an Echo character, but then Ridley, who has been requested since Melee, is finally going to be playable in Smash. And wow, definitely looks dirty. Like Ridley looks like Ridley's going to be mean. Let's we got a little bit more of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. We've got they highlighted some more kind of indie games like Killer Queen Black and Overcooked 2. Obviously they talked about Octopath Traveler a little bit because that's coming out in July. But not a huge like jam-packed conference overall. Let's go through my predictions here. Because I like you said, I think I ultimately did do the worst on this one.
Yeah. From what I can see, your only point was for Ridley.
Yeah, really. Because so here's the deal. So Super Smash Brothers, I thought it was going to come out in November. It's coming out in December 7th. I predicted that Ridley was going to be announced finally, and that Shovel Knight was going to be announced, which I'm still holding out hope, man. Still holding out hope for my.
He'd be so perfect for a Smash.
I don't think, and Sakurai even said, don't expect a lot of newcomers, but I think that we're going to get two more. I really do think we're getting somebody from ARMS, and I think we're going to get Shovel Knight.
I think the safest bet is just to give like the poster boy,
Springman or whatever. I hope it's not though. I hope
I'd prefer I'd prefer my boy, Helix.
Well, Helix would be cool. I don't think they would do Helix. I think it's probably gonna be either Springman or Ribbon Girl.
Yeah.
Either way, I do think it would make sense for us to get some ARMS representation since it is going to be on Switch. And again, Shovel Knight is it's a no-brainer to put Shovel Knight in this game. I gotta hold out hope for Shovel Knight, man. But yeah, I'm taking the point for Ridley because holy shit, Ridley. They joked about it because the kind of pun when they announced it was Ridley hits the big time because that was always the excuse. Oh, we can't do Ridley. Ridley's too big. No, they made Ridley work. I cannot believe it. Ridley is actually playable. So yeah, I'm just taking the point for that. Obviously, Shovel Knight not announced, got the release date wrong. So my only point was for Ridley. The rumored Star Fox Grand Prix from Retro Studios is real. I still say it is, but it was not revealed here. So that is not a point there. The new Yoshi game is coming in August, and so is a Switch port of Yoshi's Woolly World. No. In fact, it got delayed to 2019 officially.
Damn.
Yeah, which is a big surprise for me because I really thought people played it last E3. It was playable. Like, I'm just a little bit surprised that they ended up delaying it to next year. When a game is playable, it typically means that it's kind of close. The next Legend of Zelda game is announced for Switch. It's a top-down 2D game in the style of Link Between Worlds. Nope, that was not announced. But I do, I'm holding out hope. I would like that. That was like just a baseless, crazy prediction, but I would love that. I hope that that's something that they're working on. New proper DLC will be revealed for Super Mario Odyssey this year. No, not a single mention of Mario Odyssey. Really surprised me. I really thought that we were going to get something, just a quick, quick little DLC drop for Mario Odyssey. But no, not a peep. Our born Mario. My crazy prediction was that Blizzard was going to be officially supporting the Switch, announcing ports of Hearthstone, Diablo 3, and Overwatch for the console. We did not get anything from Blizzard, but it made me think that maybe this announcement is better served at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't really have a place at E3. Maybe this is more BlizzCon thing. So I guess we'll see. I mean, I think Blizzard knows that the Switch has done well. I think Blizzard is probably eager to support the Switch. But maybe this just wasn't the place for some of these announcements. Maybe I got too crazy with my prediction. So yeah, I only got the 1 point for Nintendo. My final score is 22 out of 42 possible points. So I guess it's one of those things where it's like, hashtag Seth was right, but barely. So I think I'll take it though. I'll take the win. It was over 50%, just over 50%. So Todd was hashtag Seth right.
Kind of.
I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. And again, it's not even really about that. I just have fun making the predictions.
Yeah.
So that's E3. That's the predictions. That's how it fell down. I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm looking forward to the video games of this year. You got anything else you want to say before we wrap this thing up?
I'm happy that I can finally say that Microsoft won in E3 for the first time in years.
Right. Yeah. No, Microsoft had a great conference.
Fucking slow clapper.
It makes me want to pick up an Xbox and play some of this.
It's funny. It's technically I could legitimately just grab my dad's old Xbox because he bought an X, so I could just grab his old Halo one.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Anyway, anything else you want to add?
I think that's about it, man.
Cool. Thanks for listening, guys. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.